important to keep the fire going so you don't have to worry about that at nighttime. And if you guys can tell, little Yowie's just on patrol. He knows David's about to come up to the campground, he can tell, and he's just staring down that trail. Okay, so the last time I was here, I set up apples on the tree stumps all the way around the property. We put out the moonshine, and I think it was towards the end of the trip, they took the apples over here on the south side of the property, and then they did it again the next day. They never took those apples over there behind the cabin where they were wood knocking and pushed over the tree last time, and we heard the Joker, I heard the Joker laugh, the strange hyena laugh. When I left, you said the apples went missing, all of them?
Huh. Yeah, they all got gone the same time, evidently. Same night.
And the moonshine was gone?
Yep.
Okay, and that was like strange pineapple mix. Smelled like pineapples.
I could just vision that thing leaning up against that stump, sitting down on his butt, and leaning against that stump and getting soused with that moonshine.
I know, you said we probably got a drunk Sasquatch.
Yep, he's out there wall-eyed.
Something got it, but that tells me that they waited for me to leave and then they made their move.
You know, if something, say a squirrel or a raccoon, had jumped up there on that stump and tipped it over, that jar of moonshine, that stump would have been wet, and around the ground would have been wet.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was just as dry as it could be. And the thing about it was the jar was set down and just leaned up against the stump, down at the bottom of the stump. And so...
My memory's bad, but the guy you talked to out in the park, I don't know if he was a forest ranger, DNR, or I don't know what he was, but he told you they liked the mash.
That was USDA guy.
USDA guy. He said they liked the mash, the byproduct of when they make
brew the beer.
Brew the beer. Okay. But he said that they had photos of them, and you have one of these things that shouldn't exist. But I've had people on the channel. There's a gal from Tennessee that said her family had a moonshine, whatever it's called, like
still.
Yeah, moonshine still. They're making moonshine up in the mountains in Tennessee, and they claim that a Sasquatch got into it got into their moonshine still several times, multiple times. And well, I've heard several reports about them getting into the moonshine. They want something in there. I don't know what it is. I never made alcohol.
Well, I'd say it's kind of sweet, I guess, because he said them hogs loved that stuff, and so did them things, and they was able to get pictures of them.
Wow.
And I just asked him, well, why in the world won't the government let the farmers know and people know so they can deal with them, know what to deal with, you know?
That's why he told you the way he did. You have one of those things that shouldn't exist. By that he meant, I can't tell you anything, but you have one here. It's kind of freaky.
And he's investigated that deer that we seen just as soon as we popped up out of this field down here. That deer was laying there, and he investigated pretty good.
What did he say?
He kept the notes in his head until we started back, and then that's when he told me. He said, man, oh man, he said, I've never seen this before, but he just looked everything over, and then when I showed him everything, took him around and showed him everything, and he just told me when we was going back to his truck, said, you know what you got here? I said, nope, I have no idea. He said, you got one of them things that don't exist. And he said, I can get you pictures of it, but I can't do nothing about it. So,
Wow.
but I can get you pictures. We get them all the time. That's what he said.
Wow.
I said, well, that don't make sense. If you can get pictures all the time, why don't you? He said it's.
So it's possible to get photos of these things.
That's what he said.
I can't share it on this video, but I showed you the video from Kentucky of that Sasquatch climbing over the hog pen. That's freaky. So it is possible to get trail cam photos of them. You just have to know how to do it. So if we had a hog pen and it was loaded with piglets, we might get some photos. And if we had that mesh.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get some of that stuff. I'm sure it'll attract black bears too. No doubt they love it. But if we can get it, set it up on a trail camera in the boneyard, we might get a good photo of them. I don't want to do that in the killing fields by the cattle. That might not be a good idea. Because then we're attracting predators to the property.
Well, them predators, they're here, but
Yeah.
whatever the mountain lions and the bears and all that stuff, evidently they don't want to be around that thing.
No, I'm sure it even spooks the predators. And I have no doubt that when I'd set up my tent back here, I probably had a big mountain lion walk right by at nighttime. Mm-hmm. You told me yesterday that you wish I could hear what you used to hear. What was it, like screams, yells, hollers?
Yeah, screams really just remind me of them howler monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
But from that, when I was down in Panama, but that's the closest thing, because it just sends chills down you when they let out their screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but I haven't heard them since. You know, there for a couple of years they was doing it all the time. Either that or they've just got used to me.
So they're very primate sounding, but also eerie.
Oh, it just sends chills, make you want to go in the house real quick.
But more primate than like prehistoric?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, hopefully that's the goal, is to capture things like that. And I feel like we could learn a lot more from the audio than what we could from like a photo or video.
I never really have heard the woman screaming bloody murder type.
Okay.
I never have heard that.
I hear that a lot on the Merrimack River where I'm at.
I've heard the other stuff that I've heard is probably worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Worse? Oh man.
Yeah. There ain't no way to even try to mimic.
You know when the T-Rex roars in Jurassic Park, how horrifying that is? That's how these screams are that I've heard off the Merrimack River and where I had my sightings at. So if you listen to a mountain lion or a bobcat or a fox screaming or an owl screeching, it's nothing like it. It'll make a mountain lion sound like a house kitty. That's how much more powerful it is.
Well,
it's unmistakable, and it's really high off the ground when it does it, and it'll rattle your insides. But mountain lions do sound pretty wicked, but this is different.
Well, so does bobcats. Bobcats can make some awful noise, but
those are horrifying sounds.
Here's the whole thing. They don't have the lung capacity to sustain the yelling, the notes that they put out.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to catch your breath, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. Where these things, it just continues. You know, you think, well, man, what in the world? Time to go in the house.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you did hear that Jurassic Park T-Rex roar scream out here, if somebody heard that, they would say, this is different. This is not a mountain lion. You would know. And it's the same way with the Sasquatch.
Yep.
Adam and I heard them, and Jansen and me heard the vocalizations. The one me and Jansen heard was way back there in the park. And man, it sounded so cool, so wicked, very prehistoric. And if I don't know if you ever heard it, the St. Louis County, Minnesota Bigfoot calls.
Mm-mm.
It's on YouTube, but there's a bunch of different vocalizations that they captured in northern Minnesota, and that's what this guy sounded like here. What me and Adam heard, that same one, but except he was way over there this time, over there by the fire tower. Man, I wish I could have recorded that. Since that day that me and Adam heard that, when Jim and Mary were there, I've been setting up that Zoom recorder up there for that reason. That's why I'm so adamant about putting up that recorder. But I know they're here because when me and Jansen heard them, it was this time, but in 2025. It was right around June, about 3 p.m. And then me and Adam heard them in the winter time. I think 2026. Could have been January, February. I can't remember. But still in the same time frame. So this past year has been amazing.
If she had time, she would be a good researcher.
Oh, she would. She's a good gal, that's for sure.
She's able to climb up and down these hills, and she's got a good head on her shoulders. She rationalizes things instead of jumping to conclusions.
I could have her turn my GoPros on and off, wash my dishes, cook my food. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. But yeah, she is very thorough. She's very analytical, very intelligent. And she'd maybe cook a mean steak. I like it when they come out here.
She might be one of them gals that let you cook your own steak.
Yeah. I mean, I cook her a steak. That's fine. She said last time that we need to make a spreadsheet and document everything that happens. But I'm kind of already doing that with my videos because it has the date and time when I upload it, and everything I find's in those videos.
The only thing with videos, you can't.
I put everything in the description too, like what happened on this day. We heard a wood knock, something pushed over a tree. So it's all being logged down. Everything's being written down. And whatever audio I get, it's in the video. Any video of tracks, whatever, it's all there in one package.
Yeah.
So in a way, I am logging it down.
I used to put everything down and try to video everything, and I had so many people ridiculing me about everything that I just started erasing everything. When I'd see something, I just erase it.
Oh man.
And
but
I still got thousands and thousands of videos and pictures that I never even went through because it's just time consuming.
The neatest thing I've ever seen was the video. I mean, it wasn't neat, but it was cool to see that you documented it. Was that buck with its front leg broke, and then the deer with their necks twisted? Because I've seen that before where I had my sightings, and
I've actually got
I couldn't believe you had it on video.
2 bucks with broken legs. One over here by the boneyard and one over there where your cell camera's at.
Yeah. You gotta feel bad for those deer though.
Yeah. They got a rough life. Something's always trying to eat them. I wish I knew, could figure it all out, you know.
Have you ever heard anything laugh like that? That strange laughter that I got back here? You think it's a coyote?
No, it's not a coyote. No. I don't know. I've heard it several times.
Well, if anything's going to happen, it's going to be tonight. I said last night in my video that I rarely get any activity when it's real cloudy out. For some reason, they like beautiful days. When the stars are out, clear blue skies.
Maybe they can see better when it's...
Yeah. They like people. They like to be out when it's nice. And
I've heard stories. Get their head wet.
I've heard stories where it's thundering, there's lightning, and people see a Sasquatch. Like when the lightning strikes, it lights up the darkness. But all my sightings, most of my experiences were on days like this, beautiful days. I have not experienced anything on this trip. Not one thing. Nothing strange. So it was a few days after I left here last time, and I went outside. I had been watching the stars out at my house because you can see Jupiter and another planet in the west. Every night I go out there and watch them. Well, I noticed in the east there was a big, bright, bluish-white star sitting up right above the tree line. It was huge, bigger than what Jupiter looks like right now. And I just thought, wow, that is so cool. I have not noticed that. Been out here almost every night watching these. I even filmed them when I was out here doing research. I purposely aimed my GoPro to the west to film it. But yeah, that night at my house, I was staring at that bright light, looked like a huge star or a planet up there above the trees in the sky. Stared at it for about 2 minutes, and it didn't move. It's like, well, it's not a plane, it's not moving. Just thought it was cool, walked off, did my own thing, and I looked back and it's gone. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, that was something. I don't know what it was, but it was totally something. That next morning, you contact me and you tell me you're not going to believe what just happened. And I said, what? What did you experience?
Well, I went into my bathroom, and all of a sudden, the whole bathroom lit up real bright, like it was a LED light. I mean, it made my shadow, and it was coming through my window that was behind me. And I jumped up. I thought, okay, I finally figured out what these beams of light are that's coming and hitting these deer on these trail cameras. This is it. And so I jumped up and I looked out my window and didn't see nothing, but it was still bright. So I looked up, straight up there in the window, and right above my roof, it looked like it was just above my roof, was a bright orange and kind of blue big light. And so I hurried up and run out the back door. I had to go through the house and out the back door. And when I got out there so I could see what it was, there wasn't nothing. I couldn't see anything. So
You think it was one of those orbs? You think it was the cryptids?
if I could have got a real better shot, look at it, you know, but it just looked like, and I could tell it was moving while that bright light was in, because the shadows was moving. But then when I run outside and there wasn't nothing, I didn't see a thing. That, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was gone real quick.
Well, on the last trip, I saw that big orb on the center ridge halfway up it. It couldn't have been a star, it couldn't have been a planet, it couldn't have been the moon. And it was there for about a good 2 or 3 minutes. Then it kind of blinked and then went out. It was definitely not an insect. But we were talking about this today, right there on that point of that center ridge. In November 2025, I had my drone hovering right above there, and that thing just dropped.
Fell to the ground.
You said that you were having mechanical failure or electronical failure?
Yeah, I kind of have been. The other day, I needed to do some work with my tractors and my brand new skid steer that I've got there in the shop. Everything I had, every battery that I had was dead.
Really?
Down there.
And that's close to the center ridge.
My tractor, well, it's right in front of the center ridge.
Mm-hmm.
It's within.
Yeah, it is.
It's within 100 yards anyway, but I was having the awfulest time. Everything, all my electrical stuff that was down there at my shop, as far as equipment goes, did nothing work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been charging batteries ever since. And
My flashlights die when I go down these ridges too. They'll just start blinking and then go out.
yeah,
I wonder if that big center ridge, because it comes out of the conservation area. Everything's connected to it, and that center ridge comes out onto your property. If it acts as like a radio tower or like an obelisk, something. It seems like a lot of stuff's coming out of there.
I know this whole place right here down there in them fields is just like a satellite dish.
Yeah, it's like a giant parabolic dish.
You can hear, and when you do your calls and stuff, it just echoes everywhere, all over, and just sounds like it just carries way away. But there's a lot of strangeness. I mean, a person can't be scared or he'd move. You know.
Oh, I know.
But now that light, when I was in the bathroom, and that light shined, I didn't have any lights on, so it was very bright. And what? Well, originally I thought somebody pulled up in our driveway on the on that side of the house, and that's why, because the way the shadows was moving, I could tell that thing was moving. The light was moving, and it kind of looked like somebody coming up with headlights, but that wasn't what it was. It was right above the house, and it stayed there for. I mean, I was trying to get far enough so I could see, because the only thing I could see was orange and kind of blue and yellow, but it was a lot of brightness. And some people say that, well, that meteor flew through the air that night.
That same night, that's what blew my mind the most. At Clearwater Lake in Missouri, a huge meteor was seen, filmed, and it had like this green color to it. But we both seen those strange lights on the same night, and the same night the meteor was seen over Clearwater.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that was a UFO that was seen.
Well, that light that I seen, it moved, but it also stayed still. I mean, if it had been that meteor, it would have kept going. And
no, but I feel like there was UFOs out that night, and the meteor, this is just me thinking outside the box theorizing, that meteor is actually a UFO that crashed.
Yeah, very well could have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was one crashed down at Cape.
And there's been so many reports at Clearwater Lake, is why I'm saying that. Could have just been a meteor. Is it a meteorite or a meteor?
Meteor.
Okay. Meteors when it dissipates before it hits the ground, and meteorites when it impacts the ground, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Don't get me lying. I don't really know.
Just
that's like stalagmites.
Just shake your head and say yeah.
Like stalactites and stalagmites. You know.
There's so much to learn, though, especially in the fossil record. But with everything that's happening, all these unsolved mysteries, there's something deep going on here. And not just here, but all over North America.
Well, the thing about it is, you can't, you're very lucky if you experience anything just going out there one night. Just say you feel like going out and sitting in the woods or whatever. It's very unlikely that you're going to experience anything.
Yeah.
You have to put your time in over and over and over so you can figure things out, what you're hearing and all that.
I think it's spiritual. I mean, call it what you want, extraterrestrials and advanced beings, or just unknown activity. It's all the same in my eyes. Whatever it is, it's spiritual, and it can manifest fully physical. And I've heard of people who encountered like apparitions, and they said it was real, like as real as you and I. Look back and the person was gone. Like it was real. So the spiritual is the real deal. It's not just like a mist or a fairy tale. It may be more real than our reality. And what we're dealing with is other dimensions, portals, things that you can document scientifically, but it's going to be very hard to do. Like, God came down and ate with Abraham. He ate physical food, or two angels did. Doesn't make sense. Why would a supreme being need to eat food, and how could he eat food? But to me, I feel like it's real, like other dimensions are. And these Sasquatch, they're really eating apples, they're really killing deer, they're leaving tracks, hair samples, but they do seem to be from another realm. We were talking about that earlier, like how it seems like they're coming in and out of portals. They do their thing, get their food, and then go back.
I've still got some of my hair samples.
Do you?
Yeah. My piece of meat that was on it is gone. It
Really?
just turned to dust.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll disintegrate over time.
But the hair, I still got the hair.
Wow.
What I haven't gave to have tested,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
We'll find more in the future. Somebody said to get the double-sided tape and put it around trees where we gift or where we have trail cameras, and if something comes up there and touches it, it's going to leave hair.
Mm-hmm. Well, anymore, I'm not worried about it
No.
because I've dealt with it long enough. I pretty much know exactly what
Mm-hmm.
it is. Whether anybody wants to believe it or not, I just hope they don't have the problem sometime.
Mm-hmm. I know. Somebody around here is having a problem with them. Guarantee you that. It'd be cool if we can put up signs in the conservation area. Bigfoot signs saying, "Have you seen me? Call this number."
Yeah,
Guarantee you to be getting some phone calls.
yeah.
Do you see anything?
Well, I see something, but I can't tell what it is.
Mm-hmm. Same here. My camera only focus. It'll only zoom in so far. Don't see any heat spots down there. Last night I did. I saw a big round heat spot way down there where you saw that shadow. And then it disappeared. I wonder what he's looking at. And he's on patrol. He ain't messing around. That's where I got the apples at. If you look, there's an apple right there. He's looking directly towards the apple. He smells something is what it is. Or he hears it.
Well, the wind's blowing this way.
No, it is, yeah.
He smells something probably.
I don't like to ask him, what is it? Because then he'll look at me and come back over here. Oh, look. Look, he's acting funny. Oh, shoot. He does not like whatever it is. First time he's grabbed. In a long time. I didn't see anything. When he does stuff like that, I want to give him a treat. Oh boy. Kind of let him know he's doing good. Let me use it. Because I didn't have an IR light. What is it? They've wood knocked from over there before. Across the road in the conservation area. It was pretty far away.
Whatever it is, probably after that apple.
Mm-hmm. She's nice and plumb.
Should have poured her out some corn down there.
Nope, she just realized she's being watched by the Sasquatch camera. Don't mind us. Ooh, he sees her.
See, that deer don't bother him. He's not growling or anything at that deer.
Yeah, and whatever's back here behind us, he's growling at.
Whatever's behind us, he's kind of concerned about.
Yeah, he seems concerned about it. I think a Sasquatch does come out. It'll be tonight. Notice how quiet it is. I mean, the birds are still going off, but still, there's no wind.
No.
It's the perfect time for a predator to move through the woods. The deer don't act like there's a predator around. Or maybe they're coming up close to us because there's a predator. Oh, I saw something behind her.
Did you?
What the hell was that? Yeah, about 10, 15 yards behind her. I saw something move. It didn't look like a deer. Yeah, there's plenty of places for that thing to hide.
Now she's flicking her tail.
Yep, there's more. She looked behind her. She got a little baby. Yeah, Yowie continues looking behind us. There's something there. He has not acted that way since I've been here.
Yeah, and he's not concerned at all with that deer.
Uh-uh. Well, I don't want to push the button because next time he sees something, he ain't gonna tell me.
He's going to think you're going to zap him.
Mm-hmm. You know that smoke says, "Oh, you're trying to film something? Let me blow this smoke right in front of you." Well, yesterday they were there and they took off running. Now today, they're okay. No strange sounds, and we're seeing deer. The last research trip, we heard a lot of strange sounds and not very many deer.
Mm-hmm.
So if the deer are here, that's a good sign it's probably calm. If they're all spooked and somewhere else, something's around.
Yeah, I use the animals to let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're definitely going to know before you do.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about using that dish up there and turning it into a parabolic dish. I think we can do it.
Well, go ahead.
With like the Rode microphone that I have set up on that audio recorder on the center ridge, those two big microphones. If we take one, we can connect it to that thing and run a line into the cabin and listen up there. And possibly put that thing on a motor where it can turn. That thing's kind of heavy though.
Go that way.
A big owl?
Yep.
Dang, I missed it.
I just happened to be looking through the binoculars and it.
That right there is a buck.
You see one?
Mm-hmm. He's to you right there, maybe in front of the persimmon tree, coming up the trail. Yeah, that owl's got him spooked. That was strange. Oh. Oh, it is an owl. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an owl.
4 years.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's big.
I just heard it again.
Yeah, I heard it again too. Deer blowing now. What did it sound like to you?
Sound like somebody talking. I hear that deer blowing.
Yeah, you hear him blowing down there. Wonder what spooked them down in the fields. We've been up here for hours. That's what I was telling you the last time I was here, when there was those strange vocalizations, deer just blowing all over the place. And way up there in your neighbor's farm, what could be spooking this many deer? It's not me. My smell, like let's say right here, it's not going down in the killing fields. It's going up. I can tell by the fire. Smoke's going up.
Well, them deer that was just right down there, they
didn't care.
they never blowed.
No. So something's moving through there, scaring them. That's what I'm saying. Like, I heard probably about 20 or 30 deer spook that night. Just all over. And you haven't been seeing too many deer.
No.
Well, I'm hearing them getting spooked by something. It ain't coyotes. Adam's flown his drone down those fields, and there's coyotes trotting through those fields, and the deer just, they keep eating. Like they know the coyotes.
You see how dark it is down there?
Yeah.
Look through the.
No, well. Yeah.
That's what the big lenses do for you.
Mm-hmm.
It collects all the light that it can collect, and you can even look through there and see through the woods out there.
Oh, jeez, that big dark tree scared me. So, David, get in your side by side and run.
Wouldn't do me no good to run.
Mm-mm.
I might as well just face the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if them things wanted me, they could have had me a long time ago.
Yeah.
I used to be kind of boogered around here, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to deal with it.
I still don't know how to deal with it. Knowing that they're out there, my family's property.
I proclaim it in the name of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me alone, do not harm me, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only thing that has helped me around here. It was really spooky around here for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I never knowed what was going to happen from one day to the next.
I feel that way when I'm camping out here.
Then when they left,
Mm-hmm.
things were kind of boring.
I know.
But
It's like you're spooked when they're here, and then when they leave, it's like, come back.
well, you don't know, when they're here, when they're around, you never know what they're going to do next.
I know.
And
I like the little ones. They're pretty fun. The big ones are kind of scary, especially when you're hunting and you experience some strange activity on the woods. Those bugs are getting louder as the summer unfolds.
mm-hmm.
But they're a good indicator when something's around and they go completely silent.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things that I noticed whenever I was trying to figure this stuff out. I'd walk out there on that porch and everything would just be so quiet it hurt your ears.
Yeah, I experienced that on one of the trails out there. Man, it was so quiet, it hurt my ears bad. It just definitely
Trying to hear something. Kind of singing.
I was saying the same thing.
He carrying a tune.
To me, that sounds like a plain old coyote. The other sounds we heard last week and this past month, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I don't even question that right there. That's 100% coyote. Pretty close though. You think he's over there by the boneyard? We've gotten the most coyote videos by the boneyard.
Yeah. He's probably right down there.
Yeah, I guess
down
so.
there at in that bottom.
Yeah. Well, pretty soon they're all going to be firing off. He's calling the pack. They say the Sasquatch run with the coyotes. I don't know how true that is, but they're all living in the same woods, so I'm sure they're around each other.
Coyotes aren't like dogs. They don't. If something scares them, they take off.
Mm-hmm.
They don't stand there and bark.
So David hung out with me for quite a long while, and he finally left. So as he was leaving, I was hearing strange vocalizations. It could have been coyotes, but it did sound a little eerie. I was inside the cabin putting up some of my stuff, and I heard something strange, but I don't know what it was. You can still hear the sound of David driving off in his side-by-side. But right now, I'm going to go down to the fields and set up some of my nighttime cameras to observe the fields at night and see if any of the orbs show up, and hopefully capture some really cool nighttime footage of the stars. And you just never know what you'll see in the skies above. But it may rain at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning for a few hours, so it's going to be really risky to leave all the equipment I have out in the woods. So what I'm thinking is maybe at 2 or 3 in the morning I might go down there and collect my stuff, which is going to add a whole lot of work on my end, but I really don't want to gamble and see what happens. Mess around and find out, right? But I'm thinking something's going to happen. Yowie was looking over there behind the gate towards the conservation area, and he started growling at one point. It didn't seem right, and he kept staring into that spot for a good 30 or 40 minutes, and he's just been on patrol lately and just really observing the forest. I mean, earlier he was staring at the deer. He seemed to be cool with them, but whatever was back there, he was not cool with it. I don't know what it was. Me and David theorized that maybe it's the Sasquatch looking at the apples that I put up there, and I said, yeah, they probably see them. He said, no, they probably smell them, which they probably do. They could possibly, theoretically speaking, smell the apples from up to like 5 miles away. Who knows? It could be possible. 5 to 8 miles away. That's a long ways, but who knows? Who knows what these things are capable of? And I agree with them. They don't have to physically see the apples to know they're there. They can smell them. Who knows? Maybe they're just like 200 yards away and they can sniff them out. But yeah, I'm a little leery to go down to those fields, and I told David that I was going to set up the cameras. He said, make sure you bring your boomstick. And I said, okay, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So right now, we're going to go down into the fields and set up the cameras. Let's go. All right, it's about 11 p.m. and I have not heard too much out there. Honestly, it's been pretty quiet on this trip. And that just tells me that I have to be here on the right days, the right time to experience activity. And I've noticed that in the past, just certain days, for some reason, either they're here or they're like possibly using portals and they appear. It's hard to say, but some days they're here, some days they're not. And on this trip, it does not seem to be that way. But when I went down there to turn on the GoPros earlier, there were deer around me and they just didn't seem to care. I thought that was pretty unusual. And I'm gonna go back down there to see what happens. When I was at the watering hole setting up the GoPros, I realized that is an excellent place to do research. Why have I not thought of this before? This is freaking cool. You can just see all the way up and down and to the left and right of the fields, and if something vocalizes, that's going to be the perfect spot. And also, since you can view everything from that spot, you can possibly put yourself in the position of filming the orbs a little better. And that's my thinking. Also, on the watering mound, it's all dirt, so essentially you're not in the grass, and if there's any snakes around, you'll be able to see them from there. But I'm gonna go back down there because it's the perfect spot to use my thermal device and to listen for any strange sounds. There doesn't seem to be much going on up here, and we have to make things happen tonight because it's potentially our last night. I'm pretty sure it's our last night. Like I said, it's going to rain in the morning hours, possibly. Hopefully it bypasses us, but it's definitely going to rain the day after tomorrow and the day after that, and who knows for how long. So that's kind of the reason why I came out here when I did. I really wanted to set up this new audio recorder and bring out the four-wheeler. But I figured since I'm coming out there to bring the four-wheeler and set up the audio recorder, I might as well do research. But we'll be back within a week or two because I have to see if this new audio recorder is actually picking up good data, and it would suck for it to be out here and it only work for like 2 or 3 days. That's a strong possibility that might happen, but I'm going to come back out in about a week or two to make sure it's actually recording and just kind of see how it's working out, because I don't want to leave it out here for a full month if it only recorded like 2 or 3 days. But yeah, if it can do at least 2 weeks, I'll be happy with it. But if it doesn't even do a couple days, that's going to be an issue. But also it's waterproof, so who knows, even if it does a few days, that'll be good enough for me. But still, if I can remotely investigate this area, that'll be the goal, because who knows what's happening when I'm not here, when I'm at home video editing and doing podcasts. Who knows? I'm always wondering that in all my research areas. Like, I wonder if there's Sasquatch out there vocalizing right now, or if there's tree structures somewhere around in my research areas. Who knows? I always wonder that about the area that I had my sightings. Like, what if these things are like right there in the wood line, just watching my family, and I'm living somewhere else and I have no idea? Could be possible. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's happening. But yeah, let's pack up some of the camera equipment, the tripod. We're going to take the four-wheeler down there. I hate leaving Yowie up here, but a lot of people mentioned that why do I leave Yowie at the cabin? It's not safe to take him down there. He's going to get bit by a copperhead, a rattlesnake. If he sees hogs, he's going to chase after him and they're going to attack him. He could run into a mountain lion. He could run into a bear. If he chases a possum into the woods and in the conservation area, he may get lost and we'll never see him again. So he's much safer here at the cabin where he can lay in his little doggy bed than going out there and getting bit by a timber rattler. So that's why. It's just too dangerous. It's not good. It's not safe to be out there. He's better off here, and there's a nice fire. He can go inside the cabin, and if something serious happens, he can hang out there. But if something serious happens out there, he may be gone forever, and he can get hurt, guys. So that's why. Also, when it was really humid on the last set of videos, people were saying, Miguel, drink water if you're hot. I have plenty of water, and I've been drinking water, but I appreciate you guys watching out for me. I've noticed a lot of you guys in the comments are really looking out for me, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I definitely had water, and I used a liquid IV, but I just had to sit down and cool off, and that was the main thing. But yeah, I definitely have plenty of water when I'm out here. So don't you guys worry about that, and I appreciate you all for watching out for little old Miguel. But yeah, let's get out there, guys. Let's do some research. We're gonna hit it hard tonight. It does have an eerie feel out here, so let's see what happens. All right, we made it down into the killing field safely, and just has a really eerie feel to it, honestly. When I drove through sections of the field, I couldn't even see where I was going on the four-wheeler because it was so foggy. But now that we're out here, we'll be able to hear anything that is moving on these ridges, and if they would knock, we'll hear it pretty clearly. If we see eye shine, we'll definitely pick it up. I think we have some deer over here to my left. They seem to be cool with me. I don't know why. Maybe they think I'm David. I'm not sure. But the four-wheeler does sound a little bit different than the side-by-side. But maybe they're confusing the four-wheeler with David's side-by-side. I'm not really sure, but we're going to look through the thermal device, see what we can spot out. And we know there's things lurking out here that we don't want to run into. I do, because that's what I'm out here, but any regular human being would not want to run into something like this. It's crazy because the trail that I come out of in the woods, I didn't see any deer. When I look through the thermal device, there's deer right there. I guess I must be missing them when I come out. I'll try to record it on the thermal device so you guys can see. I know there's a little bitty rabbit next to me, which is kind of cool. He spooked me when I pulled up on the four-wheeler. He started hopping off, and I didn't know what it was at first. Kind of scared the crap out of me. If a fluffy bunny scares me, imagine what a dog man will do. Yeah, we got some deer over here. They're kind of debating if they want to stick around or take off. My stomach keeps growling, and I keep thinking I'm hearing like vocals far off in the distance. David and Linda made ham and beans. I ate some, so now my stomach's paying the price. It was good though. And they made jalapeno cornbread and upside down pineapple cake. Big shout out to Linda, and I appreciate you guys. I think that was an owl, I'm not sure. Back up there by the campground. Yeah, that was definitely an owl. Sometimes I hear things and I just don't know what it was, but it's easy to confuse like regular wildlife with cryptids. That happened to me last night. I went into the cabin, laid down, I couldn't fall asleep, and started hearing strange sounds. I honestly don't know what it was, but I know finally when I got up, put my shoes on because it woke me up. I couldn't go back to sleep. I went outside to use the bathroom, and I was definitely hearing coyotes and owls, but that was like 20 minutes after the fact that I initially heard something. So I don't know what it was, but I'm gonna review the audio when I get home and try to pick it apart and just make sure that I didn't actually hear something unusual. But fingers crossed that I did, hopefully. I want to hear the vocalizations that David said he used to hear out here. He said it sounded like howler monkeys, so that's the type of stuff that I'm wanting to pick up. It's pretty quiet. When I came up here earlier, about an hour ago, man, you could hear things moving all over these ridges. I'm pretty sure this area is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. I'm getting bit by something, but I'm thinking the watering hole is a nesting ground for skeeters, and it's horrible. Feels like something's poking me with thorns or something. Thinking I should do a Bigfoot call and see if anything replies. Let's give it a shot. All right, let's do a call, see what happens. Woo! You're not gonna believe this. As soon as I did that call, there was a wood knock right over there. That was crazy. Coyotes, I think. But see what I mean? A cryptid call happens and the coyotes respond. So you could do a Bigfoot whoop and the coyotes would answer. A lot of people say that's just coyotes. No, coyotes shock called in response to the cryptid calls. It triggers the coyotes, is what I'm saying. You could do an elephant vocalization and the coyotes would go off. Unless it was Dogman the whole time. Huh, those deer are still over there. They seem to be cool. Yeah, that's crazy though. I did that vocalization and there was a wood knock over there on the mountain. Weird. Woo! Totally not a coyote call, as you guys can hear. Let's see if the coyotes reply. Dude, every time I do that, there's like knocking sounds over here. This time they weren't as loud and distinct, but definitely like some sort of wood on wood tapping. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I come out here when I'm not having very much activity up there at the campground, and usually when I come out here I get different results. It's like a whole different world down here, and like David said, it's like a satellite dish down here, like a stadium. So welcome to the show. Instead of gladiators, we have cryptid creatures and wildlife out here. Come one, come all. Not really, this is not a clown show. This is the real deal, guys. I'm out here in the Ozarks by myself on a farm property that borders a conservation area with a lot of spooky stuff happening. At any moment, something crazy can happen. Something so mind-blowing that it could change the foundation of the cryptid world. And tonight, I plan on making history. Okay, so not a whole lot going on out here, and I keep getting bit by mosquitoes. It's like these micro syringes just sticking in my skin all over the place. Oh, it's awful. I always say, guys, the things I do for you. No, it was my own choice to come out here, but man, it's rough. Just feels like there's needles from a cactus just poking all over my skin, and then I hear Can't stand mosquitoes. Ticks and mosquitoes, they're the worst. Yeah, when I look through the thermal device, I see these strange heat signatures in the sky. Just looks like, I don't know, these round objects floating through the sky. If it was a bat, it'd be like more all over the place. These are like, I don't know, like on a trajectory, floating through the sky. I've seen them before, but I never really thought too much of it. Like it could be, I don't know, like it just seems like invisible orbs. That invisible, like we can't see it, but when I look through the thermal device, they're there. I don't know what they are. Definitely things going on around us that we are unaware of. I do know that much. Could it be bats? Possibly. But they seem to be flying in a straight line. So now I'm really intrigued. Like, what is that? What is going on in the skies above us? There's that strange telephone sound. People say it's owls, so I trust their judgment. We're hearing an owl. I definitely don't think it's Bigfoot, but it does sound kind of cool, though. It does. It sounds like a telephone. Hello, Mr. Owl. How can I help you today? He says, who are you? We'll try to pick up those balls of light again. Or those strange orbs floating through the sky. Let's see if we can find one. I don't see any. Glad I filmed the ones that I did earlier, because I tried looking for them on the last research trip and I didn't see any when I looked up. Huh. Yeah, I think that was definitely something strange. I'm glad I recorded that. Stop biting me, mosquitoes. Another strange knock over there on the west side of the property, close to the campground. Don't know if it's a Bigfoot wood knock, but it does sound like wood on wood. I know there's hickory nuts falling, like walnuts and stuff, but one of them, it sounded like a rock flying through the trees and it hit the trunk of a tree. I don't know. Woo! Okay, so we're back at the campground. There was too many mosquitoes down there, and I was just getting tore up by the skeeters. And man, I'm just so itchy all over the place. I kind of wish I didn't go down there because of that, but oh well. We gave it a shot, right? Yeah, he keeps looking back there, so I'm really interested to see in the morning if the apples disappear again. There's definitely something around. I don't know what, but whatever it is, it's got his attention. But yeah, it's been a normal camping trip. No cryptid activity. I think I heard a possible wood knock down there after I did the vocalization, but it wasn't definitive enough to say that was Bigfoot. It's just strange timing, weird knock. Could have been a big walnut falling out of a tree and hitting some wood. But yeah, I'm gonna just sit around camp, and if something happens, I'm gonna record it. And yeah, I'm just gonna listen. We'll see what happens, guys. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know a lot of you guys enjoy these videos. I know some people hate them. I don't really care, but I do appreciate the people that watch the videos, and I think it's awesome. I think the research that I'm doing out here is superb, and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm also proud of all the positive viewers that have supported the channel. We've come a long way, guys. There's not very many people out there doing Bigfoot research and trying to bring evidence to the people. It's just not something that most people want to do, is sit out in the woods and wait for an unknown creature to show up. It takes a lot of patience, and yeah, you gotta have discipline when you do something like this. I can't say I have too much discipline, but I can definitely say I have patience and discipline when it comes to cryptid research. I don't know about regular life, but this topic intrigues me, and yeah, I'm not studying something that most people are interested in, whether it's sharks, lions, primates. We're looking for something that's undiscovered and potentially something out of this world. A lot of people believe that these things are alien. Some people believe they're alien and interdimensional. Some people think they're spiritual. I believe they're spiritual. Some people do believe that it's an undiscovered primate, and I think it's all the above. Everything I just mentioned combined into one package of mystery. But yeah, that's why we're out here. And I know you guys really want to find out what these things are. Some of you already know what they are and what planet they come from, and more power to you. But we will continue the research. Hopefully we can team up with some other researchers in the future, and maybe we'll do a longer investigation than tonight. Maybe it won't end tonight. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, we're going to be out here even longer. But if not, we'll make plans for the future. Yeah, it's been pretty dead. I sat around the fire for another hour and a half or so and heard some owls. That's about it. Nothing too serious. Yeah, you win some, you lose some, and it's just like hunting or fishing. You go out there many times, and most of the time you don't catch anything, and then sometimes when you least expect it, boom, you got a big fish at the end of your line. And it's kind of the same way with cryptids. Like, you'll try and not get much, and one day when you least expect it, you find something good, you hear something good, you see something phenomenal. But yeah, on this trip, it's been pretty dead, and I'm not used to it. I mean, I think I got too used to experiencing activity lately, and I don't know, even then I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, on this trip I'm kind of boggled a little bit, a little brain boggled there, because I don't know, I was really expecting something. But yeah, this new recorder might pick up something really good, and that's the hope. That's my plan anyways. But yeah, I'm pretty worn out, guys. It's like 1 in the morning, and if something doesn't happen within the next 20 or 30 minutes, I'm gonna go to bed and just hope that it doesn't rain, because my GoPros are out there and I have 2 audio recorders that I can't lose because they're crucial for the research. But yeah, we'll turn in for the night. If something significant happens, I'll wake you guys up. No, I won't. I'll probably just go back to bed. If something serious happens, I'll definitely get up. But if I hear strange sounds, I'm just gonna try to go to bed, because my audio recorders are out there. But yeah, if something's like banging on the cabin, slaps the side of the cabin, definitely getting up. If anything's close to me, I'll get up for sure. It's day number 3. We didn't experience much at all last night. A possible wood knock, but it could have just been acorns or walnuts falling from the trees. Nothing really that significant, but we definitely learned something, that you have to be here on the right days, the right time. And David and I were talking about possibly there's certain moon phases that bring in a lot more activity, and I've noticed the same. I'm not going to elaborate too much on that, but I've noticed that certain moon phases, temperatures, and weather systems create more Bigfoot activity, and I'm not really sure why that is, but it does line up with like fishing and hunting and stuff like that. But I think it's pretty unpredictable when you really look at the grand scheme of things, but you can definitely pinpoint better days to conduct research. And it's supposed to rain later on today. I'm not really sure how much, but they're showing rain in the forecast in the evening time, and I don't know if it's going to be severe, if it's just going to rain for a little while, but I think I'm going to stick it out and just kind of see what happens, pack up tomorrow and head back home. But for today, I'm going to hike around the property a little bit more and do a short hike in the conservation area. So none of the apples went missing last night, which seems like a bad thing, but last time we had activity and the apples went missing. This time, no activity and the apples are still there. To me, that helps with understanding their behavior, and yeah, it kind of leads to, I don't know, me thinking that they were here last time, because I was hearing strange vocalizations, and the next day the apples went missing 2 days in a row. So it's a good way to know if they're around. I mean, if they don't take the apples, that doesn't mean they're not around. If they do take the apples, it doesn't mean it was them. But if you're hearing strange sounds in the woods that indicate there are Sasquatch around and the apples go missing, it very well possibly could be them. So right now I'm just going to venture down the trails and stay in the shade and see what I can experience. I'm waiting for the rain to come in, and I picked up my audio recorder earlier, and yeah, it kind of sucks because if it doesn't rain, I have to go back out there and set it up. And my plan is to set it up after it gets done raining, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to leave tomorrow morning, and we have more rain in the forecast, so yeah, I'm just working with what I got. And I know you guys appreciate these videos. You guys like seeing the field research, and I don't know, just my day-to-day forest adventures is what I call it. I don't consider myself a researcher. I just use those words, and it just kind of sticks. People call me a researcher, and I say I'm out there doing research, but is it really research? I'm just out in the woods looking for Sasquatch activity. But yeah, I consider myself an outdoorsman, and I've said that many times. I mean, I'm out here doing an expedition, but I call that camping. It's just camping. I would not consider this an expedition. I picture an expedition where somebody's like climbing Mount Everest, and they got snowmobiles, and they're driving and hiking and climbing many miles through rough terrain weather for many months. I consider that like an expedition. But you know, some people consider going out to the woods, sitting in a chair, an expedition. So if that's what you want to call it, that's fine by me. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're out in the woods and you're trying to figure out what these things are. So an outdoors enthusiast, a researcher, a fisherman, a hunter, whatever you want to call yourself, so be it. But yeah, it's pretty quiet. David's out on his other farm. He has a few other farm properties not too far away from here, and he's out there doing some work. But yeah, I'm waiting for him to get back. But in the meantime, we're gonna venture down the trails and just see if we can experience anything. I doubt we will with everything that's happened, which is not very much, but we don't know unless we're out there. And I just kind of want to clean up the trails. If there's any big limbs and trees along the trails, I'm just going to push them off to the side, and makes it a little bit easier when I'm walking through there at night riding my four-wheeler, and it'll allow me to go a little bit quicker in case I'm getting chased by a big Sasquatch. So let's go. You want to come with me? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Yay. No, we're not leaving. We're not going by. We're going down the trails. Alright, so right here is where I saw that orb sitting in the field. But yeah, me and Yowie went out for a walk. We're going down in the killing fields, but we're just picking up all the sticks on the trails. It just makes it easier to ride the four-wheeler and to walk these trails without having to worry about tripping on broken limbs. So I was sitting here wondering what makes the killing field so special and why the cryptids are possibly here. And what makes it different than the conservation area is it's private land, obviously, and the transition lines from the conservation area into the killing fields property. And it does seem like a lot of the activities taking place on these transitional lines, and it's where big forest meets fields, agriculture, and different types of habitats. And there are creeks that come out of the conservation area onto David's property, so I feel like these creatures are following the food sources and also watching people. But I've just noticed that I see a lot more deer on David's property than I do out in the park for some reason. I'm sure there's a lot of deer out there, I just don't see them for some reason. And no doubt a lot of the deer that are here came from the conservation area. But we noticed that the deer are pretty chill on this trip, and it seems like they're starting to act like themselves again. They're pretty comfortable. Last night and the night before, they were out there feeding pretty much right in front of us, and they acted like it was no big deal. And that tells me that they're starting to calm down, and whatever was here moved off somewhere else, but it can't be too far away. They could be on the neighboring property, they could be in the conservation area, but I definitely feel like they'll be back, and they call this place home. Once they get a meal here, they know that they can come back for another one. Whatever uses this property, whether it's wildlife or something unknown, one thing is certain: they're using travel routes and following the food sources. So if we can dial in on where the clusters of deer are located at, where they keep coming out at, I feel like we can definitely triangulate around the activity, because there's so much woods out there, and it's really hard to pinpoint where these things are going to be at. But if you can use the food sources to kind of dial in where possible activity will be taking place, I think we'll have a pretty good chance. When they vocalized a few trips ago that canine sounding cryptid, there were a lot of deer in that field. I flew the drone over that field about an hour before we heard that vocalization, and there was a pretty big herd of deer in that area. And when we went down there on foot later on, that thing vocalized, so that tells me they're hunting the deer. And I wonder if they got a deer. It makes me wonder, but it's really hard to say. I mean, I'll be flying the drone the next time I'm out here, but we just never know what we're gonna see. I mean, it could be an orb, it could be a dogman-like creature. Hopefully it's the Sasquatch. They seem to be the most peaceful cryptids out of them all, and Bigfoot's pretty darn scary. So imagine running into something else. Bigfoot seems to be the most common cryptid that is encountered by people in North America, or people all over the world in general, and they have a different name. Every Native American tribe has a name for the Sasquatch. And yeah, white man's name is Bigfoot. What a name, right? Bigfoot. It almost sounds Native American, but it's not. I think some loggers dubbed it Bigfoot back in the day, back in the 70s. I don't know, 60s or 70s. I like Sasquatch personally. It reminds me, I don't know, of It reminds me of Saskatchewan, and I think the First Nations people called them Sasquatch, and I don't know, it just fits. I like using what the Native Americans refer to them as, and it's the hairy man, the Sasquatch, and Bigfoot sounds a little dopey, but it does roll off the tongue, Bigfoot. Maybe we can call the little people Littlefoot. Alright, I'm up here in the pine trees, and I've found strange tree breaks out here years ago and a bunch of rocks that have been moved. And you can see that this hill overlooks the killing fields. There's the center ridge to kind of give you guys a better view of how big it really is. You can't tell until you're actually there in person. But yeah, let's explore. Excuse me, sucked up a bug. Let's explore the pine trees. I noticed this big tree that had fallen over. It made me wonder if they pushed it over, but we're gonna look in the pine thicket before it starts storming its butt off. You can hear it thundering in the distance. Let's go in there and look. All right, we're going into the pines. I noticed this arch back here, which was a little strange, but it's hard to say. It does have another tree on top of it. It's kind of weird, but not too far out there. That could happen naturally. All right, so we're walking into the pines, and in this little holler over here, you can see all kinds of trees broken. And is it random, or does it have a purpose? So then right here, I don't know if you guys can tell, see that? That's a game trail. Something's moving through here. Could it be the deer? Hard to say. Most likely the case, since we see deer all the time. And mind you, this is the area where that creature vocalized the last time. That strange canine howl. Whatever it was, it roared and it echoed through the fields. But as I follow the game trail, you can see trees blocking the trail and all these broken trees right here. It's just kind of strange, right? Right here, I noticed this X. I don't know if you guys can see that. Dang, it's really shaded out, but there's an X right there. Try to get a different angle so you guys can see it a little better. Oh man, it's really hard to tell. But yeah, there's an X there. Unfortunately, with the angle of the camera, the clouds covering the area, it's really hard to tell. But yeah, right there, above all these broken trees. But as I walk a little further, I'm following this game trail. Check this out, guys. This is gonna blow your mind away if you're into tree structures and if you love watching the killing fields. So this is where the creature vocalized last time. Check this out. Look at that. See that huge arch? And the arch goes into a perfect X structure. Check that out. That is absolutely amazing. I cannot believe I found this. This was not here last time. Wow, check that out. That is so cool. That arch goes into the X. Check that out. Sorry guys, I love tree structures. If you guys follow my channel, I've found a bunch of these in the past and I don't feel like it's random. I don't feel like it's snow load, ice storms, tornadoes. This has a purpose, and this is communication with the Sasquatch creatures. And yeah, behind the X structure where the arch was formed, you can see this tree. It's going to be hard for you guys to tell on camera, but this tree is broken and just laying on top of this little oak right here. Let me see if I can give you guys a better angle. Check that out. Look, it's just floating. I don't see the butt end anywhere. I don't know where that came from. Look at that. And there's the big arch, all the other trees weaved into there, and the X is right there. Isn't that crazy? Where did that come from? Didn't come from up there. Let's see if these rocks have been moved. If there's pine needles underneath, they've been moved. If it's bare dirt, they've been here for a long time. All right, we got pine needles. We got another nest of pine needles. Hasn't been moved recently. At least not this one. Weird. Yeah, that little rock's been thrown at some point. Okay, right here we have 3 rocks underneath this structure. Wow, look at that. There's an X on this side. Isn't that wild? That is wild. Okay, let's see if these rocks have been moved. We got 1, 2, 3 in a line underneath the tree structure. That has totally been moved. There's an oak leaf underneath with pine needles. Rock number 2, totally been moved. And rock number 3, it's been there for a while. Check that out. There's dirt underneath. This has not been moved. I don't know if you guys can tell how excited I am about this. This is huge. This means a lot because we were hearing vocalizations from this exact spot. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and right here in front of the X, there's also this little pine limb. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it makes me wonder if they're doing this, if they're scratching off the pine, or simply it was up in the air and when the tree would move, it would rub up against another tree. It's hard to say. Most likely that's the case, but it does make me wonder if they did that, because I find this a lot in tree structure areas. Wow, check that out. That's amazing. All right, it's super hot, super humid. It's about to storm. It's thundering in the distance, and I have about 5 minutes left on my SD card before it runs out of juice. And I just want to check this out. I cannot believe I found this. Looking for any signs of hair for DNA. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, all these trees are weaved underneath this X structure. What this tells me is that this is an area where they hang out a lot. This is their territory and a boundary marker indicating and warning people to stay the heck out. It's hard to say what they're really saying though. What does it mean? This area is up on a huge hill that overlooks the entire killing fields, and they can see David's property from this spot. Wow. Makes me rethink all the vocalizations that I've heard in the past. Is it Bigfoot doing it? Or is it a different cryptid? And do other cryptid creatures create tree structures? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. This is huge. Oh man, there's a tree that's arched underneath this other stick. Gotta show you guys. This is so cool. There's the X structure. See this tree that goes along there? There's this oak that's bent underneath that pine tree. And then we have this X. Then we have that other X. Then we have this huge arch. And then back there's another huge X, and they've moved all kinds of rocks in here. This is awesome. This is absolutely amazing. This is like a little nest. This might indicate that they have juveniles in the area and they're raising them on David's property. Wow. We've theorized that this is some sort of ammo dump. You can see all the trees, they're all leaning the same way. And if you can see all the rocks on the ground, this is why we theorize that it's like an ammo dump area. They sit up here and collect their rocks to attack the deers with. Sasquatch are known to rock throw at people and also deer. And David was actually riding his tractor right next to here, and he said a big old rock came out of here and hit him on the head when he was on the tractor. No joke. That totally happened. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if they've moved these rocks. Check that out. Look how fresh that looks. Yeah. Something's been in here moving rocks. Not all of them, but right on a trail too. Check that out. There's the game trail. Weird. Nobody comes up here. David and Linda rarely come up here, especially in the woods. They're on the trails on the side by side. Wow. I'm gonna have to further explore this area after it gets done raining. But we gotta get back because there's huge storms coming in. What are the odds I find this right before a big storm comes in? I was actually just riding my four-wheeler on the trails and exploring. What the heck? Did not expect to find that. All right, we got a bad storm rolling in. Got really dark, it's starting to rain, and the clouds look really dark. We got to go inside the cabin now. Oh man, we got a bunch of trees above us. There is a rotten tree behind the cabin. Let's go. Yeah, he's scared of the storm. It's okay, Bubby. It's just rain. Ooh, rain bad. Rain scary. There could be a tornado. Just kidding. But seriously. It's okay. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Alright, we're just gonna look at trail cam footage and watch the rain outside. Kind of peaceful, honestly. There's definitely a lot of does on the trail cameras. Yeah, it seems like it's the same does showing up over and over. Oh my God. Lightning just struck right there past the picnic table, and it blew my eardrums out. Oh my God, that was so loud. That was scary. What the heck? Oh my gosh, it was like a bomb went off. Man. Yeah, we don't like storms. It's the last night that I'm staying out here, and not a whole lot's happened, honestly. And it rained earlier pretty good. Everything's still wet, everything's damp, but I am excited. I found that giant tree structure. That definitely looks like Sasquatch activity to me. At least to me it does. You guys have your own opinions. It's either subjective or objective. I don't know which way you're leaning, but for me, I believe it's Sasquatch because there was the rocks that have been moved in the past, and that's the area where David was riding his tractor, and he claims a big rock came out of the woods and hit him in the head. And I think before that, I found all those rocks in that pine thicket years ago. But yeah, today, as I was exploring through there was a defined trail, and all those trees were pushed down in that drainage, that holler, and I found that huge X up there that was essentially two pine trees that were crossed together. As I followed the game trail, I found what I would call a perfect tree structure. So I believe the Sasquatch are hanging out in that area, raising their young behind David's house. It's a sanctuary for wildlife. They're protected there, and no one ever messes with critters back there. That's why there's so many deer, turkey, raccoons, possums, squirrels, groundhogs, everything's back there, and they know they're safe back there. When they see David, they're cool. And in most areas of Missouri, any of those critters that see people, they're gone. But I don't know what the X means and the big arch and all the trees weaved into there, but it does seem like communication and possibly a warning sign. But I've told David from the start, up there on that hill behind his house in that pine thicket, the Sasquatch can watch him. They can see everything he's doing every time he goes out into the fields, and yeah, it's definitely cool. So if anything happens tonight, I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna start recording. I don't know what that was. I thought that was like a big huff. Something huffed, or like a tree fell down in the distance. I don't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, if something happens, I'll definitely record it. But yeah, I went and got my, oh wow, starting to hear movement. I did get my audio recorder, and I didn't want it to get wet. But I do have my new audio recorder down there, the Wildlife Acoustics audio recorder. And hopefully it's recording. Hopefully it still has battery. I'm hoping it will have battery for the next few weeks. But yeah, who knows? That's why I want to come back out here in about a week and do another investigation to make sure that audio recorder is actually working the way it's intended to function. But if anything does happen though, I do have the recorders here, and I'll put a battery in one of them, and just start recording and hopefully we pick it up. But yeah, it's a bummer I don't have my GoPros out there, any of my cameras set up, and the audio recorders. I know I'm gonna regret it, but I'll also regret it if they get wet and damaged. That's not very responsible, but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. That means a lot. I've been reading the comments, and yeah, a lot of people have been saying positive things. There's obviously the negative ones, but I honestly, I don't pay much attention to them anymore. So if you're gonna say something mean, you're not gonna get much attention, at least not from me. But as far as the kind people, the positive people, the people sharing their own experiences and their thoughts and theories about what I experienced, you're very much appreciated. And like I said in my last videos, I don't know if you guys watched them, I'm selecting one person to go camping in the field with me for about anywhere from 2 to 4 days. I will be providing a tent, a cot for you, and pretty much anything that you need, the food, all that stuff. And it's going to be one person, so if you don't get contacted, don't take it to heart, and just know that there's other people that put in for it. And I'm just going to pick the person that I feel, I don't know really. I don't know who I'm going to pick, but I definitely want somebody who's going to be able to withstand the elements. That's going to be the main thing that I look at. Will they be able to hang out there? Okay. There will be stimulations. If somebody's just like not acting right when we're out in the woods, I have the right to pack up and leave. But that's why I'm going to pick the person, so I don't have to worry about that. That's why I want to see a video, because you never know. It's just got to be somebody who's able to actually do the trip, because it will be rough. You will be tired. You will be uncomfortable because you're sleeping in the woods at night, and you might experience something super scary that'll change your life. So that's just something to consider. That's why I need somebody who's on their A game and that I can trust out in the field, not to like have a breakdown. Which I'm not knocking anybody, you know, we all have our fair shares of issues, but I just got to make sure it's not a liability issue for me, okay? But yeah, there we are. There you go.